So this is high rev. That's what we named it. Basically, it's your average sumobot. A little wirier than most. It's got high-speed motors and mostly just a general setup like most of the others.
Cool.
I basically started from scratch on it. I designed my own chassis using Inventor and added the things on there basically how everyone else kind of did it. And
So I haven't yet named it, but this is a robot. The inside, it has a wielding tower, a plastic picker-upper, cloth cover, and a Raspberry Pi.
I'm 12 years old, and for the sumobot tournament, I built this robot. There's a camera on it that I tied on with some string, and I'm going to record the fight.
So I designed it to use a prediction algorithm, right? So basically, come up with an intercept. So it look at my opponent's vector, and then it determined the course it had to take.
What was the
that
hardest
vector.
thing or most challenging thing?
for me the hardest was the programming because I've worked with 3D programs, CAD programs before and knew how to do all the designing and everything, but I wasn't familiar with coding, especially in Python as much, so that was the most challenging.
Getting the wheels right.
Yeah.
Turn them in correctly. So you had to retune and figure out what was right for all of the stages. Search, charge, and having to recode the program so it would work with the one sensor.
Probably designing the chassis because I wasn't really familiar with this, so it took us some time to do the chassis.
The hardest part, I would say, was wiring up the breadboard. You have to
Got a
get
lot of
everything.
wires.
Yeah, there's a lot of wires. You have to get everything in the right place.
Hardest part of that probably for me was the ultrasonic sensors, because actually getting them to work was really challenging because the code for C++, the library, it just wasn't fast enough to respond. The library I was using for most of my functions wasn't fast enough to respond to the pulse rate that was necessary, so I actually had to write sections of my code in Python, and then I have actually 3 separate programs for my ultrasonic sensors, and I couldn't just switch to Python at that point in time to do that, so I had my main portion of my code, like the brains, C++, and then to control the ultrasonic sensors, each one has to be controlled by a separate Python program, which then interfaces with a text file, which is then opened by the main program and reads that file to determine distance, which unfortunately interfaces.
Okay. And what was your favorite thing about the
Favorite
project?
was the coding too, because I was excited to learn more coding and get together with other people and just learn how to.
What was the best thing about the class?
Best
Your
thing was
favorite?
being able to design my own chassis with 3D printing. I think if I were to just have had a standard one, it wouldn't have been as educational, because being able to design my own chassis was a really
I probably like the ultrasonic sensor class the best because it showed us how to operate with the high frequencies and how to
Oh,
use
and what was the best thing? What was the most enjoyable thing?
I guess the best thing was the whole experience, just learning how to.
And what was the best part about the project? What did you enjoy the most?
When it first started working.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Well, cool. Let's get a close up here. What's the name of it again?
The sumobot.